Okay, welcome back. Peter Draws here, of course. Actually, a little bit of Peter Paints going on. I apologize for my couple of week absence there. No videos uploaded. I hope you all survived and we're doing okay in the meantime. I went on a little trip, then I got sick, and then I went on another little trip. Had a little bit of time off and getting back into it here with some oil painting. Now, I don't want to say that I am bored of drawing. Okay, I've been doodling for like 10 years now, and if you've seen more than a few videos on this channel, you know that sometimes I do delve into other mediums, whether it's acrylic or watercolor or wood burning or trying to mold something or carve something. That's fine. So that's what I've got a little bit here. But I do want to say I'm not bored of drawing, okay? I'm still Peter Draws. But also I want to say that Peter Draws really means Peter does whatever he wants. So today it's Peter Paints, okay? And we've got oil paints, which is a little bit intimidating. I've messed around with it some before. But really, every time I go to oil paint, I'm like wondering if I have all the right supplies. Because I feel like it takes a lot more supplies than many other mediums. Like you need all these chemicals and you know, like paint thinner and even just like paint thinner, turpentine, right? There's like so many different types of each chemical you can get. If you look up like a list of supplies, like what do I need for oil painting? I looked up at this, like one list I looked up said turpentine, and I think I used something called Gamsol, which is like a low odor version of paint thinner, and it's not as bad when I spill it all over myself, which seems to happen fairly frequently. And then there's another thing I bought, linseed oil, except on this list it said linseed stand oil, and then when I went to the store to buy some of it, there was one bottle that said linseed oil, and then another bottle that said stand oil, and I didn't see any bottles that said linseed stand oil. So, it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're buying these. So I just bought the bottle that said linseed oil, and then I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know, it said, it glosses, or it's like, I haven't even really been using it because I don't really know what it's for. Even after I read the explanation, I'm like, I'm, I'm painting without it. Would would my art be better if I was using the linseed oil? Maybe it's like one of those things where when you need it, you'll know. Like I'll reach some point in my painting experience, and I'll just think I need to achieve a certain effect, or I need the paint to work in some other way, and then I'll be like, oh, that's what the linseed oil is for. So I haven't really been using it. I don't really know how to get it out of the bottle. Do I just like pour it? How to just mix it? I don't know. The one time I put a couple drops on my palette, I just dipped my finger in there and let it drip off my finger. And anyways, so I mixed some colors before I started. You might have seen on my palette there, which I'm using just a sheet of plexiglass, which I think I can clean off pretty easily by scraping and using the paint thinner afterwards if I'm done. And I have a little, like a closed-in container I put the palette in to protect it in between times, right? With a look, has like a wet sponge in there to keep it moist. I don't really know. Look, here's the bottom line with this oil painting thing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyways, and it's fun, and it's kind of a good, fresh feeling. Because like I said with the drawing, I've been doing that for like 10 years, and compared to doing something new and fresh like the oil painting, I'll admit it does feel a little stale. Like I don't want to say, and I'm afraid to say some things, like, oh no, Peter, he's gotten tired of drawing. It's the end of the world. It's okay to not feel like drawing. That's fine. Right now I don't feel like drawing, and I'm just happy I found something else I feel like doing, like oil painting. So I'm doing it, right? And who knows, tomorrow I might absolutely feel like jumping right back into drawing again. It's cool. So when it comes to this art stuff, okay, you just follow your urges, follow your heart, whatever it feels like you need to follow for, like what kind of mediums you're using. Don't force yourself to, just keep on doing one thing because that's what you've always done, or because that's what you feel like you should do, or that's what you're like known for. All your friends know you to be the one guy that's like really good at pencil drawings or something. it's okay to branch out. And even when it comes to like the subject matter and what you're drawing, I don't know what I was drawing here, what it was. Like I mentioned to someone else, I feel like the things that come up in my drawings are maybe the things I draw for the same reason I dream about certain things, because they're just things that get stuck in your brain, and your brain needs to play over it a little more, kind of chew the cud of that thought. This drawing is pretty abstract, but after this one I went ahead and did a self-portrait, which turned out way different and way stranger than I expected it to. I've also posted that one on Instagram. I recorded it, but I don't know if I'm going to make a video out of it. The self-portrait was, I don't know, maybe I'll tack that video on the end of this one. It could be playing right now. I don't know how I'll edit this video. Maybe I'll just do both paintings in one video. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I probably will, now that I'm thinking about it, just because I can. But the self-portrait felt weird because I felt like I was looking far deeper into myself than I was used to. Like an uncomfortable amount of introspection. Every brushstroke I made, every choice I made as far as color and how things turned out, everything that happened, I was wondering about myself, like, what does this say about myself? And sometimes I didn't like what was happening, sometimes I did, and I intended it to turn out totally different. But like my art always happens, it appeared one way in my head before I started, and then turned out totally differently on the paper or the canvas. Or in this case, I was using birch board, which someone told me very alarmingly that I should prime before I painted on it, otherwise it would rot under the paint, which I feel is a little bit extreme. I don't know why it would rot under the paint. And when the label on the package when I bought it said it was archival quality. I mean, maybe the paint when I first start on it will soak in a little bit more, but I don't know why it would rot and the whole world will end like that. Seems extreme. I think it'll be fine. It seems nice to paint on wood. I don't know, because that way, even when the paint is a little bit thin, you get like a little bit of, if you have like the very thin layers of paint, there's like a little bit of wood grain texture underneath it there, which is apparent a tiny bit in the self-portrait I did. But yeah, so what I want to say is I'm enjoying the oil paints right now. There's a lot of room there for a lot of crazy stuff. I love the way the colors, you can mold them and meld them and smush them together. And yeah, anyways, I don't know what else to say except it's fun. I think I was first motivated to maybe try oil paints because I walked through some museum and noticed that all the famous paintings pretty much, and if depending on the gallery or wing of the museum you're in, they're all made of oil. They're all oil paintings. But then I came around and realized that it's just because acrylic paint was just invented in the last 100 years or so, something like that, right? So there's no real hierarchy of which paint is the best. Like most art supplies, it really comes down to personal preference. But I am enjoying the oils right now. They're nice and messy. It gets on my hands. And then I was getting paranoid about some of the oils getting on my hands because someone else was telling me that the cadmiums, red, cadmium red. I think I might have a cadmium yellow also. They tell me these are heavy metals or something. Am I going to get cancer from getting some of these paints on my hands, or is it okay as long as I just wash it off soon afterwards? I don't know how worried I should be is what I'm saying. Should I be wearing gloves? I can't wear gloves. I can't wear gloves for this. It's a risk I have to take, I think. Anyways, I'll see y'all later, okay? All right, bye. Thanks for watching. Break free. I just want to break free. See what I can be when I'm all alone. Break bones. I just want to break bones. See what I can be when I'm all broke up. But these lonesome days cruise by. same. Join me in a reverie, all the things that we could be if we weren't dust. I'll make you a shiny new face or two, a whole new you for you from your broken bone. Better than before. You may feel a little sore. Shake me till I'm fizzy.